The vision of the 24 elders in the book of Revelation has captivated believers, scholars, artists, and teachers for centuries. And when approaching this subject in a video review or explanation, it is essential to guide the viewer through the experience as John encountered it. The core of this mystery begins with a throne room that defies human language. John is taken in the spirit into a dimension that is not metaphorical but vividly real, where light behaves like sound and sound behaves like a force that shapes reality. The throne itself becomes the gravitational center of every decision, every judgment, every movement in the heavenly realm. Around this throne, lightning flashes and thunder bursts, each implying the voice and authority of God that has been consistent from Sinai to the prophets. The sea of glass that stretches out in front of the throne is not a tranquil lake, but an expanse of perfect clarity, reflecting glory with no distortion, symbolizing the holiness and transparency of God's nature. The emerald rainbow crowns the scene, a reminder of the covenant made long before Israel ever existed, a visual confirmation that divine promises never fade. When the camera shifts toward the 24th throne surrounding the central throne, the focus of the video moves from the majesty of God to the mystery of those seated closest to him. These elders are not an accidental detail. They are enthroned, which implies authority. They are clothed in white, which signals purity and victory. They wear golden crowns, the kind that Scripture reserves not for angels but for those who overcome in faith. This is where the performance aspect of the scene reveals its deeper layers. Everything in heaven is deliberate. Every gesture communicates theology. Every movement among the elders, whether casting crowns, bowing, or speaking, contributes to a unified picture of redeemed humanity. Participating in divine order, one of the most unique features of the 24 elders is how they interact with the unfolding revelation. They do not sit as silent background figures. They respond in real time to moments of worship, moments of unveiling, moments of judgment. Their performance is liturgical, precise, and deeply personal. When the 4 living creatures cry out in ceaseless worship, the elders immediately fall down. When the Lamb appears to take the scroll, they are the first to sing the new song. Their crowns clatter against the crystal sea because every act of worship for them is a declaration that God alone deserves honor. Their golden bowls, filled with the prayers of the saints, make them intermediaries of intercession, presenting every whispered plea from earth into the very presence of God. This design choice is staggering because it positions the elders not as cosmic monarchs, but as priestly representatives, carrying the cries of millions across generations. As the script continues, it is necessary to explain why the number 24 itself is not incidental. David's priestly divisions in 1 Chronicles created a system where worship never ceased. Each division of priests and musicians carried their responsibilities with precision, ensuring that the temple reflected the rhythm of heaven. The 24 elders echo this pattern not as a symbol but as the perfected form of it. The viewer should understand that John's vision is not disconnected from Israel as history, but as the ultimate expansion of it. In T's review, highlighting the connection between the 12 tribes and T12 apostles enriches the theological architecture behind the number 24. This dual representation symbolizes the unity of God as covenant people across all time, merging the old and new into one eternal circle. A crucial part of the explanation must address the debate surrounding whether these elders are angels or redeemed humans. The script should walk the viewer through the evidence embedded in their garments, their crowns, and their song. White garments are consistently promised to believers who overcome trials, not to angels. Golden crowns of the Stephanos type are awarded to victors in faith, never to heavenly beings who were never redeemed. Their song in Revelation 5, regardless of minor pronoun variations across proclaims personal involvement in redemption, something angels cannot claim. This interpretive detail becomes a key selling point in the video, because it transforms the elders from distant mythic figures into intimate previews of the believer's destiny. This is not an abstract theological concept, but a personal promise. Every viewer who has endured hardship, remained faithful, or held on to hope will recognize themselves in the symbolism of white garments and golden crowns. In terms of design, the throne room scene functions like a cosmic courtroom, a temple, and a royal palace simultaneously. The elders help embody this multifaceted structure. Their thrones communicate judicial authority. Their priestly actions communicate spiritual intercession. Their crowns communicate victorious royalty. This hybrid identity reinforces the biblical promise that believers will one day reign with Christ and serve as priests before God. The video should emphasize that the elders visually represent the full identity God gives to his redeemed people, kings, priests, worshippers, and heirs. As the narrative unfolds, their role becomes even more dynamic. They speak directly to John, guiding him through visions he does not yet understand. They respond when judgment approaches. They sing when the Lamb breaks the seals. They fall on their faces when the seventh trumpet sounds, recognizing the final victory of God's kingdom. This active participation shows the viewer that the elders are never passive decorations. They are fully engaged in the administration of God's plan, a unique selling point for the viewer who may have seen them as mere symbolic figures before. Their performance is also deeply emotional. When one elder comforts John in Revelation 5, telling him not to weep, because the Lion of Judah has prevailed, it reveals a personal connection between the redeemed and the revelation of Christ's victory. Their song, filled with gratitude and awe, becomes the soundtrack of heaven's response to redemption. For a viewer struggling with suffering or confusion, understanding that the elders embody the journey from brokenness to glory becomes profoundly encouraging. The script should continually draw the audience back to the central idea that the elders preview the destiny of every believer. Their crowns reflect battles won. Their garments reflect purity achieved through perseverance. Their thrones reflect authority granted through faithfulness. Their proximity to the throne reflects intimacy with God that begins now and continues into eternity. Every detail from the bowls of prayers to the echoing songs reinforces the truth that every act of obedience, every whispered prayer, every moment of endurance carries eternal significance. The visual design of the video should help underscore these concepts. The throne room should be portrayed not as an abstract symbol but as a living environment filled with movement, sound, texture, and radiance. The elders should be shown not as identical figures, but as individuals united in purpose, each carrying the marks of victory and redemption. Their crowns should glimmer with a sense of weight and meaning. Their garments should feel alive with light. Their voices should resonate with the emotion of redeemed beings who understand both suffering and triumph. As the review draws toward the later chapters of Revelation, the activity of the elders crescendos. Their voices join the roar of heavenly worship. Their posture reflects the completion of God's plan. Their presence in the final scenes of praise highlights their continued role in eternity. The script should remind the viewer that these elders are not ancient figures frozen in a distant vision. They symbolize a future reality God has prepared, a destiny that believers move closer to with every act of faith.